Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In just a few moments, we will be starting the Majlis-e-Ali for commemoration of Shahadat of Bibi Fatima to Zahra, Salamu alayha. We kindly ask those that are standing outside to please come into the masjid as we will be starting in 1 minute. Thank you. Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. Bare digar naare salawat. Bar Habib Khuda Khatmul Anbiya Imam Zamana buland tar salawat. Jazakallah. For recitation of Hadith Qissa, I invite Brother Abu Shaba, please welcome him with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bare digar naare salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير، الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور، الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت، فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور، ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير، ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين وأعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير، وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير، إذا ألقوا فيها سمعوا لها شهيقا وهي تفور، تكاد تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير، قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير، وقالوا لو كنا نسمع أو نعقل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير، فاعترفوا بذنبهم فسحقا لأصحاب السعير، إن الذين يخشون ربهم بالغيب لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير، وأسروا قولكم أو اجهروا به إنه عليم بذات الصدور، ألا يعلم من خلق وهو اللطيف الخبير، هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا فامشوا في مناكبها وكلوا من رزقه وإليه النشور، آمنتم من في السماء أن يخسف بكم الأرض فإذا هي تمور، أم أمنتم من في السماء أن يرسل عليكم حاصبا فستعلمون كيف نذير، ولقد كذب الذين من قبلهم فكيف كان نكير، أولم يروا إلى الطير فوقهم صافات ويقبضن ما يمسكهن إلا الرحمن إنه بكل شيء بصير، أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن إن الكافرون إلا في غرور، أمن هذا الذي يرزقكم إن أمسك رزقه بل لجوا في عتو ونفور، أفمن يمشي مكبا على وجهه أهدى أمن يمشي سويا على صراط مستقيم، قل هو الذي أنشأكم وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما تشكرون، قل هو الذي ذرأكم في الأرض وإليه تحشرون، ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين، قل إنما العلم عند الله وإنما أنا نذير مبين، فلما رأوه زلفة سيئت وجوه الذين كفروا وقيل هذا الذي كنتم به تدعون، قل أرأيتم إن أهلكني الله ومن معي أو رحمنا فمن يجير الكافرين من عذاب أليم، قل هو الرحمن آمنا به وعليه توكلنا فستعلمون من هو في ضلال مبين، قل أرأيتم إن أصبح ماؤكم غورا فمن يأتيكم بماء معين. صلوات. صل على محمد وآل محمد. عن جابر بن عبد الله عن فاطمة الزهراء سلام الله تعالى عليها قالت: سمعت فاطمة عليها السلام أنها قالت: دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال: السلام عليك يا فاطمة. فقلت: عليك السلام. قال: إني أجد في بدني ضعفا. فقلت له: أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف. فقال: يا فاطمة، ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به. فآتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به، وصرت أنظر إلى وجهه فإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسن عليه السلام قد أقبل وقال: السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت: وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال: يا أماه، إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقالت: نعم، إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسين عليه السلام قد أقبل وقال: السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت: وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال: يا أماه، إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله. فقلت: نعم، إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين عليه السلام نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا جداه، السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكما تحت الكساء؟ فقال: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال: السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت: وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال: يا فاطمة، إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت: نعم، ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي عليه السلام نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ فقال: وعليك السلام يا أخي ووصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت: السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال: وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله بطرفي الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال: اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم، إنهم مني وأنا منهم. فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال الله عز وجل: يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل عليه السلام: يا رب، ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل: هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال: اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال جبرائيل: يا رب، أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله عز وجل: نعم، قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله، العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك: وعزتي وجلالي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله: وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله، إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء صلوات. فقال لأبي: إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول: إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال علي لأبي: يا رسول الله، أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله: والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذن والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله: يا علي، والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، وفيهم مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه، ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه، ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذن والله فزنا وسعدنا، وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As you know, tonight we are here to commemorate the Shahadat of Bibi Fatima to Zahra, Salamullah alayha. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. We will start with the Urdu portion of the program. We have two reciters who will recite in Urdu, followed by the speech by our very own Maulana Syed, Maulana Syed Rizwan Rizvi. So with that, मैं दरख्वास्त करता हूँ जनाब डॉक्टर मंसूर जैदी साहब से कि वो आएँ और मौला की बारगाह में कलाम पेश करें। बर मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलावत।
بڑی ہمت کے ساتھ میں پیش کر رہا ہوں. یہ بڑی پرانی بچپن کی ہماری ہے. یہ بی بی بانو کا ارمان. ایک روز وہ دن ہوگا اصغر بھی جوان ہوں گے. بانوں کا یہ ارمان تھا آباد مکان ہوگا. ایک روز وہ دن ہوگا اصغر بھی جوان ہوں گے. لوگوں میرے بچے کو مقتل سے اٹھا لاؤ. لوگوں میرے بچے کو مقتل سے اٹھا لاؤ. وہاں دھوپ کی شدت ہے بیتاب ہوا ہوگا. بانو لاشائی جو اصغر کی ماں کہتی تھی رو رو کر بیٹا تجھے موت آئی اب کون جمع ہوگا. بانوں کا یہ ارمان تھا آباد مکان ہوگا. آغوش میں رہتے تھے کیوں گود پسند گور پسند آئی. وہاں خاک کا بستر ہے آرام کہاں ہوگا. وہاں خاک کا بستر ہے آرام کہاں ہوگا. اصغر تیرے جھولے کو اب کون جھلائے گا. اصغر تیرے جھولے کو اب کون جھلائے گا. میں شام چلی بیٹا اب کون یہاں ہوگا. ایک روز وہ دن ہوگا اصغر بھی جوان ہوگا. اللہم صلی اللہ.
جزاک اللہ. میں درخواست کرتا ہوں جناب شبیر رضوی صاحب سے کہ وہ آئیں اور مولا کی بارگاہ میں کلام پیش کریں. بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات.
ایک اور درود بھیج دیجیے محمد و آل محمد پر. اس قوم کے رونے کو یہی بات بڑی ہے. اس قوم کے رونے کو یہی بات بڑی ہے. زہرا بھرے دربار میں زہرا بھرے دربار میں حق مانگ رہی ہے. اس قوم کے رونے کو یہی بات بڑی ہے. زہرا کی شہادت کی ہے شب اس لیے لوگوں زہرا کی شہادت کی ہے شب اس لیے لوگوں اس غم کے سبب نوح کنا روح نبی ہے. اس قوم کے رونے کو یہی بات بڑی ہے. تا دیر تڑپتے رہے تعظیم کو لاشیں تا دیر تڑپتے رہے تعظیم کو لاشیں یہ کون ضعیفہ ہے جو مقتل میں کھڑی ہے. اٹھ اٹھ کے خاک اڑاتی ہے جو بن میں اٹھ اٹھ کے خاک اڑاتی ہے جو بن میں شاید علی اصغر کو بہن ڈھونڈ رہی ہے. برچھی علی اکبر تیرے سینے میں گڑی ہے. برچھی علی اکبر تیرے سینے میں گڑی ہے. پر چوٹ تو زینب کے کلیجے پہ پڑی ہے. پر چوٹ تو زینب کے کلیجے پہ پڑی ہے، اس قوم کے رونے کو یہی بات بڑی ہے۔ زہرا بھرے دربار میں، زہرا بھرے دربار میں حق مانگ رہی ہے، اس قوم کے رونے کو یہی بات بڑی ہے۔ پر محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔
جزاک اللہ، یہ تھے شبیر رضوی جنہوں نے ہمیشہ اپنے خوبصورت انداز میں کلام پیش کیا۔ ایک اور صلوات پڑھی اعلیٰ محمد و آل محمد۔ حسین بن کے زمانے پہ چھا گئے، حسین بن کے زمانے پہ چھا گئے، زینب زبان تیغ سے کوفہ ہلا گئی، زینب قدم قدم پہ جلائے، حسینیت کے چراغ، قدم قدم پہ جلائے، حسینیت کے چراغ، دیے یزید کے سارے بجھا گئے، زینب حسین بن کے زمانے بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔
اللہم صلی علی محمد۔
بی بی فاطمہ تو زہرا سلام اللہ علیہ کی شان میں کی سلام کے چند شعر ہیں۔ نازش کون و مکان خاتون محشر فاطمہ، نازش کون و مکان خاتون محشر فاطمہ، اور جز محمد اور علی بہتر سے بہتر فاطمہ، جز محمد اور علی بہتر سے بہتر فاطمہ، نازش کون و مکان خاتون محشر فاطمہ، اور مادر حسنین و زینب روح ہے در فاطمہ، مادر حسنین و زینب روح ہے در فاطمہ، اور دختر احمد کنیز رب اکبر فاطمہ، نازش کون و مکان خاتون محشر
فاطمہ،
اور جس نے پیشانی جھکائی تیرے در پر فاطمہ، اور جس نے پیشانی جھکائی تیرے در پر فاطمہ، اور حشر تک بگڑا نہ پھر اس کا مقدر فاطمہ، حشر تک بگڑا نہ پھر اس کا مقدر فاطمہ، نازش کون و مکان خاتون محشر
فاطمہ،
اور خود نبی آئے تیرے در پر سلامی کے لیے، خود نبی آئے تیرے در پر سلامی کے لیے، اور یہ تیرے گھر کا شرف اللہ اکبر فاطمہ، صلوات پڑھی علی محمد و آل محمد، مکان خاتون محشر فاطمہ، نازش کون و مکان خاتون محشر فاطمہ، اور تیرے دونوں لال جنت کے جوانوں کے امیر، تیرے دونوں لال جنت کے جوانوں کے، اور تیرا شوہر مالک تسنیم و کوثر فاطمہ، نازش کون و مکان خاتون محشر فاطمہ، اور جز محمد اور علی بہتر سے بہتر فاطمہ، نازش کون و مکان۔ سورہ فاتحہ۔ ایک اور سورہ فاتحہ کی درخواست ہے آج کے اسپانسرز کے مرحومین کے لیے۔ آج کے اسپانسرز جو ہیں وہ ہیں آج کے اسپانسرز ہیں، معافی چاہتا ہوں، آج کے جو اسپانسرز ہیں ان کے مرحومین کے لیے، آپ سب کے مرحومین کے لیے، اور ان کا کوئی پڑھنے والا نہیں ہے، ایک سورہ فاتحہ۔ آج کے اسپانسر جو ہیں وہ مسٹر حسنین اور توصیف رضا بابا، اللہ تعالیٰ آج کے اسپانسرز کے ان کے مرحومین کے درجات بلند کرے۔ ایک صلوات پڑھی علی محمد و آل محمد۔ بابا کو روتے روتے جو زہرا گزر، بابا کو روتے روتے جو زہرا گزر، اور غل پڑ گیا کہ بنتے نبی کچھ کر، اور فاقوں کے رنج سہ کے حضور پدر، اور محبوب کبریا کی عزادار مر، اور محبوب کبریا کی عزادار مر، اور 18ویں برس نے یہ آفت دکھائی، آل نبی کو چرخ نے لوٹا دہائے، آل نبی کو چرخ نے لوٹا دہائے، اور سبتین گھر میں آئے جو بے تاب و بے کر، اور آسماں سے پوچھنے لگے اماں کا حال، اور وہ بولی نیند آ گئی ہے شکر کرد، اور کھانا تو جلد کھا لو کہ بھوکے ہو میں، اور کھانا تو جلد کھا لو کہ بھوکے ہو میں، اور بولے کہ چین دے گا زمانہ تو کھائیں، اماں ہمیں کھلائیں گی کھانا تو کھائیں، اور یہ سن کے بے قرار ہوئے وہ جگر، اور چادر زمین پہ پھینک کے چلائی بار، اور بچے ہیں ان کو صبر دے اے میرے کرد، اب وہ کھلانے والی کہاں تم پہ میں، اب وہ کھلانے والی کہاں تم پہ میں، اور پیارو تمہاری پالنے والی گزر گئے، کھاؤ گے کس کے ہاتھ سے اماں تو مر، کھاؤ گے کس کے ہاتھ سے اماں تو مر، اور پھر تو علی کے گھر میں قیامت بپاؤ، اور تازہ بلا میں آل نبی مبتلا، اور ماتم پہ ماتم اور عزا پر عزا، او غل تھا رسول پاک پہ زہرا فدا، اور سب رو رہے تھے بنتے رسول قدیر، بچوں کو ہوش تھا نہ جناب امیر، وہ شیر خدا تھے مضطر و مغموم، اور سر پیٹتی تھی زینب و کلثوم، وہ پکڑے تھے دل کو سید مسموم، وہ بسمل تھے خاک پر شہ مظلوم، اور حیدر قریب آئے تو ایک خط نظر پر تڑپے کچھ اس طرح کے امامہ اتر، اور لکھا تھا یہ کہ آخری مجرا قبول، یا شاہ تم وسیع جناب رسول، اور صدقہ حضور کا میرا مقصد حصول، اور منہ سے نہ کہہ سکی کہ حزین و ملول، اور میری وصیتیں نہ فراموش کیجی، اول یہ ہے کہ آپ مجھے غسل دی، اور دوم یہ ہے کہ شب کو جنازہ اٹھا، اور مردے کا سایہ بھی نہ کسی کو دکھا، اور یہاں تک کہ قبر بھی نہ کسی کو بتا، اور کتنی جگہ نشان لحد کا بنا، اور سوم یہ ہے کہ پاس یتیموں کا کی شفقت سے بولیو کبھی گھڑ کی نہ دی، شفقت سے بولیو کبھی گھڑ کی نہ دی، اور بابا کو روتے روتے جو زہرا گزر گئی. بر محمد وآل محمد صلوات. ایک اور صلوات پڑھیے علی محمد وآل محمد. And then with that, I invite Maulana Syed Rizwan Rizvi to come up tonight to address tonight's Majlis. Please welcome him with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. My dear brothers, if you don't mind, can you please kindly just come up and move up towards the mimbar? Majlis ka mahal bhi ho jayega, please. And as you come up, one more salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bahut bahut shukriya. بر حبیب خدا ختم الانبیاء امام زمانہ بلند تر صلوات.
رحم اللہ من قرأ سورة الفاتحة. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. الحمدللہ رب العالمین الرحمن الرحیم مالک یوم الدین ایاک نعبد و ایاک نستعین اهدنا الصراط المستقیم صراط الذین انعمت علیہم غیر المغضوب. Please recite another Surah Fatiha for the marhumin of tonight's sponsors. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي قصرت عن رؤيته أبصار الناظرين وعجزت عن نعته أوهام الواصفين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين أبي القاسم محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين ذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك ونحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات بجمع. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Condolences to mu'mineen and mu'minat, to our scholars, ulama, maraji azam, as well as Imam of our time, Imam Mahdi, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. On this sad occasion upon which we commemorate the Shahadat of Khatun Jannat, the only daughter of Rasulullah, the wife of Amir al-Mu'mineen and the mother of Hasanain, Karimain, Janab Fatima Zahra, Salamullahi alayha. As mentioned earlier in the khutbah of Jum'ah as well as Majlis last night, that there are two dates of the Shahadat. In fact, there are 19 dates of Shahadat that are mentioned. Two are most prominent. Three, if you include the one which is widely commemorated in the Arab world, especially in Iraq, the riwayat after 40 days of the wafat of Rasulullah, then the 75, and then the 95. So there are many differences in the opinions, and because the history was narrated heart to heart, Sina Basina, there's always an issue with the dates, concerning the dates of the Wiladat and the Shahadat. So I mention this every year, so I'm going to be very quick mentioning it again, that in Arabic, 95 is Khamsa wa Tis'een, and 75 is Khamsa wa Sab'een. Both are written the same way if you remove the dots from Sab'een or Sab'un or Tis'een or Tas'un. If you remove the dots, they both are spelled the same way. And when that is the case, the one who's reading it can either read it as 75 or as 95. Therefore, these two dates became more prominent as far as the commemoration for Janab Sayyida's Shahadat is concerned, that either she died or she was martyred 75 days after the wafat of Rasulullah, which would be the 13th day of Jumad al-Ula, which is today, or it will mark the 3rd day of Jumad al-Thaniya, which will be inshallah around December 5th and 6th, and that's the 2nd Fatimiyya. In the last few decades, I would say, now these Ayyam Fatimiyya are introduced and are commemorated more elaborately in many of the Muslim countries. So in Pakistan, in Iran, and other places where there's a lot of concentration of Shias. In Iraq, we have the Ayyam Fatimiyya, Majalis for 5 days or Majalis for 10 days, Ashra Fatimiyya, for example. And of course, the Dhat of Janab Sayyida and the Kirdar of Janab Sayyida is so vast that Asharat could be mentioned, and still we will not run out of the Fadail of this great lady. So therefore, these Ayyam are now commemorated. And one thing is different in these Ayyam than Ayyam Hussaini. Ayyam Hussaini are general, meaning you'll find people from all walks of life and all walks of religion. Regardless of their religion, they will commemorate the Aza of Sayyid al-Shuhada. Many non-Muslims attend the Majalis. Hindus and other religions, they commemorate the Gham of Sayyid al-Shuhada. But the Shahadat of this lady is exclusive to Shias. You don't see the commemoration of her Shahadat even in the Sunni world, or those who are, claim to be the lovers of Ahlul Bayt. You don't see the Shahadat is commemorated in their culture either. So from that aspect, of course, this lady, we owe a great deal to her. I recited these ayat from Surah Kawthar, the smallest chapter in Quran. All of you know it by heart, and in fact, you know the translation of it as well. I'm not going to go too much in the depth and the tafsir of the ayat, but just a reference, so we have a starting point, that Rasulullah came out of masjid as he ran into a man by the name As ibn Wa'il. And when he spoke to him, As ibn Wa'il said a few things which upset Rasulullah. And then As came and sat with his friends. They asked him, who were you talking to? He's referred to Rasulullah as Abtar. I was talking to that man who is Abtar. Meaning what? That in Arab world, or even in all Muslim world, if you look at it, the progeny continues through the male children and not through the female children. Rasulullah had a daughter, or maybe at that point, Janab Sayyida was not born, or even if she was born, the prophecy came to explain to Rasulullah that inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. Indeed, O Prophet, we have given you Kawthar. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْهَرْ. Now worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and give the biggest sacrifice. إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرُ. Indeed, your enemy is Abtar. Direct response to As ibn Wa'il, who made a mockery to Rasulullah by calling him to be Abtar. Allah responds, standing up for his Habib, the way Allah responded to Abu Lahab, Allah responded to As ibn Wa'il, and the common mentality that the Arabs at that time had, the mushrikeen had regarding Rasulullah. And therefore, Fakhr Razi, when he talks about these ayat of Surah Kawthar, he said those who were standing in front of Rasulullah, the Umayyads, you don't find any nishan of those Umayyads. Yet today, after 14 centuries, you still find the progeny of Rasulullah all over the world. And then he says, now not just only the progeny of Rasulullah, when you have people like Baqir and Kazim and Reza come out of the progeny of Rasulullah, then there's no comparison, none whatsoever, as far as the Umayyad and their legacy is concerned. Salawat biji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad par. Only 4 occasions in Quran, a chapter begins with the word inna. And all 4 are equally important. First occasion where the chapter begins with inna is Surah Fath, where Allah says, Inna fatahna laka fathan mubina. Indeed, we have given you a great and apparent and obvious victory. And that was Fatih Makkah or Sulh Hudaybiyah. The second occasion is when the word inna is used in the beginning of a surah, is in Surah Nuh, where Allah says, Inna arsalna Nuhan. Indeed, we have sent Nuh towards you. The third occasion where a surah begins with the word inna is Surah Qadr. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil Qadr. Indeed, we have revealed this Quran on the night of Qadr. And the fourth occasion where the word inna has appeared in the beginning of a surah is this, Inna a'tayna kal kawthar. Look at the combination. Allah uses inna, this plural hence, if you want to call it, or plural pronoun if you want to call it, that we have given you this manifesting victory. We have sent Nuh unto you. We have revealed this Quran unto you. And we have given Fatima to Zahra to you. The victory which gave the face to Islam was that victory of conquest of Makkah. All the other victories before that, there were struggles. But when Rasulullah returns back to Makkah, that was a very big moment in the life of Rasulullah. And that's why it's Fathan Mubina. Hazrat Nuh is not an ordinary Nabi. He is Abul Bashar al-Thani, and the first of the Ulul Azm Anbiya. Therefore Allah says, Inna arsalna Nuhan. That indeed we have sent Nuh unto you. Nuh is not ordinary. When Allah sends salutations on the other Anbiya, He said, wa salamun ala Ibrahim, wa salamun ala Ismail. But when He sends salutations on Hazrat Nuh, He said, wa salamun ala Nuhin fil alameen. That not just here, fil alameen, peace and blessings be upon Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam. The third is that book which is Ummul Kitab, Sab' al-Mathani, the best of the books, the mother of all books, and that is Quran Majid. Allah said, we revealed this Quran to you. All of these three are major milestones, and it is all capped off with the basharat to Rasulullah that we have given none other than Fatima to Zahra, salamullahi alayha, to you. With this, your enemy does not have any right to go ahead and call you to be abtar. With that said, I wanted to share some merits from the life of this great lady in front of you. In order to understand someone, you need some mu'arraf, right? Mu'arrif and mu'arraf. Mu'arraf is someone who explains to you another individual. For example, I wanted to meet someone, I wanted to understand someone. I asked someone else, do you know that person? You do ta'arruf of that person in front of me, meaning you become mu'arraf. You said, oh, you talking about so-and-so? Yeah, I know them well. Or for example, if there's a wedding proposal, like someone comes up to me and says, Maulana, do you know so-and-so from that city? You visit there a lot for majalis? I say, yeah, I know them. When I explain about that individual, I become mu'arraf. How do we look at the Zat of Sayyida? Who is mu'arraf of Janab Sayyida? The first mu'arraf of Janab Sayyida is none other than the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this Quran Majid. There are 119 ayat in Quran that are given nisbat that are about Janab Sayyida. 119. Of course, I won't be able to recite all 119. You'll be sitting here until tomorrow. But just a couple of ayat, and that too, you already know them, hinting you toward them, so that you make them to be something that you either memorize it or keep it with you as a proof. Where is the dhikr of Sayyida done in Quran? First and foremost is that ayat of Mubahala. There's no one misdaq of the word Nisa in that ayat of Mubahala, chapter 3, verse 61, other than Fatima Zahra. When Rasulullah goes in front of Najran, the Christians of Najran, to do Mubahala, the word is used Nisa'ana, and the misdaq of Nisa could be many women. But all the tawarikh are shahid that the only misdaq and manifestation of that word Nisa is the wujud of Fatima Zahra. No one is sharik in that. Rasulullah didn't bring anyone else except his daughter Fatima Zahra. So that is direct, even though the name is not mentioned, but that is the direct ayat which is speaking about Janab Sayyida. We see that a lot of people try to tarnish the characters of Ahl Bayt. They didn't leave Rasulullah, let alone Ahl Bayt afterwards. One day, Muawiyah asked Sa'd ibn Abil Waqas that, oh Sa'd, how come you never say anything bad about Ali? Muawiyah had made it to be a normal thing, that from the pulpit you can do sabbu shitam on Ali and Ali. It was a normal thing. But Sa'd always refrained from saying anything bad about Ali. Muawiyah asked him, why don't you say it? How come I've never heard you say anything bad about Ali? Why don't you curse him? First reason that he gave, he recited Ayah Mubahala. He said, when Quran is calling Ali to be Nafse Rasul, how can I go ahead and curse that individual? See, even when sometimes a person is enemy, haqq does not remain from coming out. The first reason that he gave is that the Quran is calling Ali to be Nafse Rasul. How can I go ahead and say anything bad about him? Then he gave another example. He said, you forgot what happened in Khaybar? I'm not talking about the heroics of Ali. But Rasulullah had given the alam in the hand of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Rasulullah said one thing, that yuhibbullah wa rasulah wa yuhibbuhullahu wa rasuluh. Ali is someone who loves Allah and His Prophet, and that is not enough. Allah and the Prophet loves Ali ibn Abi Talib as well. He said, how can I curse someone who is the beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah? And then the last gawahi that he gave, he said, Hadith manzilat. Rasulullah made him to be anta minni bi manzilati Harun min Musa illa la nabiyya ba'di. Oh Ali, you are to me like Harun was to Musa, except there is no Nabi after me. He said, these are the reasons by which I refrain from saying anything ill in regards to Amirul Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. Salawat biji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Second reference, mu'arrif of Janab Sayyida is the Quran. Look no further than Surah Dahr. 18 ayat of Surah Dahr are in reference to Janab Sayyida. 18 ayat just in that one chapter. That chapter is known as Surah Dahr. It's also known as Surah Insan, and sometimes referred to as Surah Halata, because of the very first ayat, Halata al-insana hinum min al-dahre. So this whole chapter, 18 of the ayat of this chapter are complete reference to Janab Sayyida. Why? That ithar that they gave, the ithar that they did. I've mentioned it before, there's a difference between ithar, altruism, and ihsan and infaq. Allah mentions a great deal about infaq in Quran, but does not mention a great deal about ithar in Quran. He did not make ithar to be a recommendation or wajib, as he has made infaq to be a recommendation and wajib. Right? You so many ayat, وَأَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاكُمْ, right? Go ahead and do infaq with all the ayat regarding infaq. There's so many of them. Why? Because ithar is the quality of those who are elite. Not everyone is capable of doing ithar. What is the difference? For example, if I have only one glass of water and someone else is in need of it, I give them that entire glass of water. That is ithar. But if I have 2 glasses or I have a pitcher full of water, someone comes up and says, can I have some water? I share some water with them and I keep some for myself. That is not ithar. That is infaq. That is ihsan. So when you are in need of something, when you are reliant upon that, and that is the only thing that you have, and then you still give away in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is the example of ithar. And that is what the Ahlul Bayt had done after Hasanain had fallen sick, and they fasted for 3 days. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى هُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا وَلَا نُرِيدُ مِنْكُمْ جَزَاءً وَلَا شَكُورًا إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ. Indeed, we give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's absolute ikhlas in the amal that we are performing, and we're not doing to show off to anyone, nor do we need any thanks from you. Salawat bheji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad par. Another interesting aspect regarding this surah, Surah Dahr, it paints a picture of a Jannat, a scene from Jannat. And wherever in Quran there's a discussion about Jannat, and Alusi writes this in his Tafsir al-Baydawi, or Ruh al-Ma'ani, and as well as in Alusi's Tafsir al-Baydawi, they write in this, what do they say? He says that all the ayat of Quran where there's a dhikr of Jannat, usually there's the zikr of Hurul Ain. Even in our du'as, Hurul Ain. He said in this surah, while so much regarding Jannat is mentioned, the discussion of Hur is not being mentioned. Especially in these ayat which are talking about Ahlul Bayt. And he says the reason that I could come up with is because the misdaq of these ayat is Fatima Zahra salamullahi alayha. And because of the respect of Fatima Zahra, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not talk about Hur in these ayat, although the discussion is about Jannat and paradise and the Ghuraf, Wildan, Mukhalladun and all those things. Yet the dhikr of Hurul Ain is not done just because of the respect of Fatima Zahra. Salawat biji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He said, لِحُرْمَةِ بَضَعَةِ الرَّسُولِ لِفَاطِمَةِ الْبُطُولِ. The reason it isn't mentioned is because of the hurmat of the part of Rasul, which is Fatima, which is Batul. Now, the second mu'arrif of Janab Sayyidah, that's the first mu'arrif, which is Quran. As I said, 119 ayat, I only mentioned a couple in front of you. There's ayat It'am in there, there's ayat Mubahala there, there's ayat Muwaddat there, there's ayat Tathir there, and all these other ayat are also part of it. 18 from Surah Dahr, an entire chapter, Surah Kawthar, is about Janab Sayyidah. With that said, the second mu'arrif of Janab Sayyidah is the words and the kalam of our Prophet himself. How did Prophet speak about Janab Sayyidah? If you look at the kirdar of Rasulullah, or the raftar and the sirat of Rasulullah, all we find is that he respects her as a person would respect someone elder, someone older, like a mother or someone. Whenever she would enter, Rasulullah would stand up from his place. He would, out of respect, although Janab Sayyidah, last moment with Rasulullah, the moment Rasulullah leaves this world, maximum she's 18 years old. But throughout her life, she would walk into Rasulullah. Someone said it beautifully, that Rasulullah is someone on the day of judgment, when the mahshar is set, All the Anbiya will be there. When Rasulullah will come, all the Anbiya will stand up for the azamat and the ta'zeem of Rasulullah. But when Janab Sayyida would come, even Rasulullah would stand up for her. So the person for whom all the ummat, and not just the ummat, all of the Anbiya are standing up for his azamat, his way of living was that he would stand up for Janab Sayyida. This is as far as the Sirat is concerned. What has he said about her? That is another story. So many rawayat, of course, don't have time to go into all of them. Just a couple of rawayat that may not have been heard regularly. We've heard many rawayat, Fatima to badatun minni, and all these other rawayat, whoever is razi with Fatima is razi with me, and all those rawayat you've heard a great deal. But I brought something which you may not have heard, or with ma'azrat, maybe younger kids may not have heard in the past. So that at least something new from the kalam of Rasulullah regarding Janab Sayyida. When it came to explaining his daughter, he wanted to give you a wholesome picture so that you don't need to look any further. If you see this kalam of Rasulullah regarding Janab Sayyida, then you don't need to look any further. What did he say? He said, لَوْ كَانَ الْحُسْنُ شَخْصًا لَكَانَ Fatima. If all the beauty was presented in a form of an individual, or if it was personified, if all the beauty in the world was personified, لَكَانَتْ Fatima. Then it would definitely be Fatima to Zahra. If all the beauty was personified. And then he said, بَلْ هِيَ أَعْظَمُ. No, you thought that was the epitome of it, that it was the maximum. No, بَلْ هِيَ أَعْظَمُ. Rather, the Fatima is greater than as well. He says what? He said, إِنَّ Fatima ibnati khayru ahli al-ardi unsuran wa sharafan wa karaman. This is coming from someone who's sadiq, someone who's Ameen, who's Sayyidul Mursaleen, who's Khatamul Anbiya. He's saying this. He says what? Indeed, my daughter Fatima is better than that. She's the best of the people on earth as far as the lineage is concerned, as far as the honor is concerned, as far as the generosity is concerned. This is at times when I praise an individual, because I don't have much worth myself, that praise might not be that great. But when you go in front of Ayatullah al-Uzma and he praises you, it changes the entire complexion. At one point, an ordinary Maulana was praising you. Now Ayatullah al-Uzma is praising you. There's a difference between the two. Your credibility goes through the roof. Here is not an ordinary individual speaking in this way about Janab Sayyah. It is Rasulullah. The Ummat looks up to him, who is the seal of all the Anbiya. He said, my daughter is the best of the people on earth as far as the honor is concerned, as far as the generosity is concerned. Salawat Beji Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. At another place we find لِفَاطِمَةٍ تِسْعَةُ أَسْمَاءٍ, that there are 9 names of Janab Sayyah in the Allah, not in the sight of the people, no, in the Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given 9 names to Fatima to Zahra. One of the names of Fatima to Zahra is Muhaddatha, not Muhadditha. There's a difference between the two. Good that we learned some Arabic on the way as well. Muhaddith is the fa'il, muhaddath is the maf'ul. I can be a muhaddith by quoting a few ahadith. I recited a couple of ahadith in front of you, you start calling me muhaddith. Muhaddith is the Halwi, for example, mashur. Those who narrate ahadith are muhaddith. Muhaddath is someone else. What's the difference? Muhaddith is someone who says or speaks, who narrates a hadith. Muhaddath is someone to whom hadith is spoken to. Who was speaking hadith to Janab Sayyida? It's not Rasulullah. Then anyone would be muhaddath. This is where we find strangeness, maybe for some people, but not for our aqidah, that after the wafat of Rasulullah, until Janab Sayyida left this world, Jibreel Amin would come down and console the heart of Janab Sayyida, not bringing hadith, not bringing wahi. Wahi is munqati'. Don't get me wrong. Wahi has been discontinued from the wafat of Rasulullah, but he would still continue to come down to Janab Sayyida to console her heart. to speak to her, to bring comfort to her, and to narrate things to her. And that is the reason she is given the title of Muhaddatha, that Jibreel Amin used to speak to Janab Sayyida. What is the riwayat? Riwayat says this: وَكَانَ جِبْرَائِيل يَأْتِيهَا, would come to her, فَيُحْسِنُ عَزَاهَا عَلَىٰ أَبِيهَا. يُحْسِنُ عَزَا, meaning in this azah that she was in after having lost her father, she was in azah. She was feeling down and she was feeling sad. فَيُحْسِنُ عَزَاهَا, he would come down and make her pain to go away. That was number one. Number two, وَيُطَيِّبُ نَفْسَهَا, he would also come to go ahead and calm her down as far as her nafs was concerned. Number three, وَيُخْبِرُهَا عَنْ أَبِيهَا وَمَكَانِهِ, he would also tell her about her father, where he is, in what makan he is, and what is his status and place in Jannat. وَيُخْبِرُهَا بِمَا يَكُونُ بَعْدُهَا فِي ذُرِّيَّتِهَا, and Jibreel would also inform Janab Sayyida what will take place after you leave this world, with your family, with your husband, with your children. وَكَانَ عَلِيٌّ, Amir al-Mu'mineen would write all of these things down, and guess what? This is called Sahifa Fatima, that is still with Imam Zamana, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. So that is the second mu'arraf of Janab Sayyida, who is Rasulullah. Rasulullah is the second mu'arraf of Fatima to Zahra. First is Quran, second is Rasul. Third mu'arraf of Janab Sayyida is Amirul Mu'mineen and Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. Who could take pride in when Quran speaks about you, when Allah conveys His salam to you, when Ali speaks about you. And not just Ali speaking about Janab Sayyida, taking pride in Janab Sayyida. I want this last portion because there's some nasaya, there's some advices for all of us, me included. There's some nasaya and advices to my sisters as well in this last portion, which is the speech of Amirul Mu'mineen with Janab Sayyida. Something that we can, inshallah, take home. Words of Amirul Mu'mineen. Qala laha, he said to her, Aliyun awsini bima ahbabti ya bint Rasulillah. That time came on Janab Sayyida when she was now all of a sudden was feeling that her time has come. And he asked Ali ibn Abi Talib to come and sit next to her. Ali said, she said, "Oh Ali, send the children away. Tell Hasanain to go to the ziyarat of Rasulullah and send the girls with the kaneez. And when that happened, Ali, just you and me, I want to sit with you. And I want to give you these wasaya." These were sort of like wasiyat of Janab Sayyida. So there are a couple of wasaya. This is one of them. She sits, Ali sits in the rasiha. Wa akhraja man kana fil bayt. Everybody who was in the house left the house. Thumma qalat. And then she spoke to Imam Ali. Yabne ammi. O son of my uncle. That's, one of the ways that she spoke to him. He said, Ma ahittani kadhibatan wala kha'inatan wala khalaftuka mundu ashartani. O Ali, this is a covenant that from the very beginning I have never lied to you. This is Janab Sayyida, who is ma'asuma, by the way. But when she's speaking to her husband, she says what? That, O Ali, that from the time that we've been together, I have never lied to you. You know how many times marriages fall apart merely because of lies? Lies from this party to that party, from that party to this party. Well-wishers coming and saying stuff which are based on lies. Creating a scene merely based on lies. Between husband-wife relationship, lies come in between, falls apart, marriage goes towards divorce. When it comes to our relationship with, for example, our customers, if I'm in a business, how much do I lie to sell my business, to make more money, to get somewhere. So many lies that are part of, unfortunately, our lives, our daily lives, in our transactions, in our routine, with our family. And then, of course, the leading responsibility of this is the divorces that take place. She said to Imam Ali that the time that we've been together, I have never once lied to you. Now, of course, they're masoom. So, well, they never lied. We're not masoom, so we're going to lie? No, lying is something which is in your control. Lying is something which is, you don't have to be masoom in order to avoid lying. Yeah, there are many things that may not be able to avoid because of the fallibility that we have. But lying is something, Janab Sayyida is teaching. One of the last of the wasaya is that, oh Ali, I've never lied to you. Number two, oh Ali, I have never lost your trust. Kha'inatun. I don't want to translate the word kha'ina for Janab Sayyida in any other way. But she said it herself. That, oh Ali, I have never been unfaithful to you. Never done khiyanat to you. That's why I don't want to translate this. But here, khiyanat, you look at it in a perspective for ourselves. What does khiyanat mean? What falls under the category of khiyanat? Khiyanat is not just in your transactions that you mislead someone. You give them something less and you take more money. Yeah, that is also khiyanat, deceiving. But the unfaithful nature when it comes to the husband and wife relationship, that also is one of the leading cause of divorces and separations in our communities, unfortunately. Many of these cases that come to us, they speak about it. One of the reasons why they're separating is because of the unfaithful nature of one of the spouses, one of the couples. And that is something which is becoming a norm, unfortunately. Why? It's the influence of the society that we live in. While we embrace this society, the good stuff in it, we go a little bit too far, embracing everything else that is also part of it as well. Khiyanat. How are you going to be answerable to that in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tomorrow? Janab Sayyida says, Ma ahittani kadhibatan wala kha'inatan wala khalaftu munzu ashartani. And oh Ali, not just that I have never lied to you, never done khiyanat to you, I have never gone against anything that you have said. Now, this might be translated as the male-dominating society, and Islam preaches that men are above and whatnot. Islam doesn't preach that. It wants to make sure that everyone's equal when it comes to their relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it also wants to install someone to be the leader in the house. Wants to install someone to be the leader in the society. So that there's one person whose kalam, whose words are taken seriously. And so ayat of Quran says what? Ar-rijalu qawwamuna ala nisa. This does not belittle the status of the women. Rather, it gives the sense of leadership that Allah is vesting in the husband. So therefore, Janab Sayyida says what? While she is at her level all the way up there, but she still says, oh Ali, since we started living together, ma khalaf wala khalaftuka mundu ashartani. I have never once gone against your command. That's very difficult. My sisters might be saying, that's not possible. How can we listen to everything and anything? No, that's not being said over here. But the areas where there should be that mutual respect. And it does not go one way. Look at the response that Imam Ali gives. That will become the responsibility of the husbands. And so, well, you only told us one side of the story. This is what Janab Sayyida did. What did Ali do? Ali did the same exact thing. Imam Ali responded by saying, oh Fatima, don't say these things about you. You are above and beyond to give the attribute of kadhiba to yourself. You're above and beyond to give the attribute of kha'ina to yourself. You're above and beyond to give the attribute of mukhalifat to yourself. No, O Fatima, indeed, on the contrary, you were someone, when you came to my house, I was muflis, meaning I didn't have a great deal of wealth. I was not able to provide the best living standards for you. but you still survived with me. When you came to my house, I didn't have much to offer to you, but you abided with all of those things. Therefore, today I am your makruz and you are not my makruz. When you leave, before leaving this world, Fatima, make sure that you have forgiven me for all the hardships that you saw with me in my house. And then he also requested one more thing. He said, oh Fatima, when you see your father, tell him to also forgive me for not having protected you after he left this world. Why? A husband's duty is to go ahead and protect and provide shelter and security to the spouse and the children. I was not able to do that to you. The way Rasulullah had given to me, when he had given me to you, you were different. Now that I'm returning it back to him, you have been damaged physically and as well as spiritually. So this is the kalam of Amirul Mu'mineen, returning back to Janab Sayyida. Then Ali said, qalat, she said first, when Janab Sayyida is mentioning all of these, she said, Yabna ammi ma ahittani kadhibatan wala kha'inatan wala khalaftu mundu ashartani wa qalat. And then she continued saying that, oh Ali, when I leave this world, I have a couple of other wasaya from you. Number one, oh Ali, when I leave this world, I want you to be the one who performs my last rituals. Oh Ali, my wasiyat to you is that when I leave this world, I want you to be the one to take care of my ghusl and kafan. Oh Ali, I don't want you to let those individuals to be part of my janazah who harmed me throughout my life and especially towards the last. And then she says something personal. She said, oh Ali, when I leave this world, my children, if they go ahead and do something which is unpleasant, don't be so unkind to them. Janab Sayyida, Ali says, oh Sayyida, these aren't ordinary kids. These are infallible children of yours. There's nothing that they will do which will require me to be harsh to them and in turn to show any sort of unkindness. And then lastly, Amirul Mu'mineen also said, she said, oh Ali, after I leave this world, don't forget me. Come and visit my grave every time. Amirul Mu'mineen responded by saying, oh Fatima, I promise that I will come and visit your grave, but with one condition, that every time I send salutations on to you, you will respond to my salutations as well. Janab Sayyida, when she went to the qabr of Rasulullah, she would do the marsiyah and the noha over there. وَمَنْ يَلْتَزِمُ بِإِقَامَتِهِ He had responded and said, oh Fatima, after you leave this world, your children will be killed. Your sons will be martyred, especially your young son Hussein will be martyred in the plains of Karbala. Janab Sayyida responded by saying, then, oh father, who will take care of my children? Who will be there? Will I be there at that time? He said, no, you won't be there. Rasulullah said, I won't be there. Ali won't be there. When Hussein will be killed, even Hassan will not be there. He said, then who would be there? He said, inna nisa ummati yabkuna ala nisa'i ahli bayti wa rijaluhum yabkuna ala rijali ahli bayti wa yujaddiduna al-aza'a jilan ba'da jilin fi kulli sanatin. Don't worry about it. Allah will create a nation. Allah will continue from your progeny, the children and those who are the followers of this madhab. They will continue to do the aza for you and as well as for your children. And then Ali responded to Sayyida. I'm not yet at there for Masaib. Just listen to the response that Ali gives to Janab Sayyida. Oh Sayyida, don't call yourself to be kadhiba. Don't call yourself to be kha'ina. I know you are showing humility in front of me and humbleness, but these attributes do not suit you. You know who you are? Anti alamu billahi wa abarru wa atqa wa akramu wa ashaddu khawfan min Allahi min anna aw ubbihaka bi mukhalafati. You are the most knowledgeable about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are the most righteous, the most pious, the most honorable, and the more fearful of Allah than to reproach yourself for opposing me. You have not opposed me. You have not done any mukhalafat to me. In fact, O Sayyida, you are someone in whom I used to find comfort. Now after you leave this world, Ali will have difficult time finding comfort in. Every time Ali would come back from a battle, all sad and drenched into the pains of that battle, the moment he would lay his eyes on Sayyida, he said, all of my hammu gham, my grief will go away once I would look at Janab Sayyida. And that's the relationship Ali and Fatima left behind. That's how the spouses should be. That's how their relationship should be. These last wasaya, I request all brothers and sisters to implement them, not just so that we have heard that Janab Sayyida was like this, Amirul Mu'mineen was like that. No, rather these are the lessons from the life of Sayyida and Ali. Yes, the time came. Janab Sayyida, after the wafat of Rasulullah, her routine was what? That she would go to Jannatul Baqi, and she would spend a lot of time over there until she asked Ali, "Oh Ali, build me a house, Baytul Huzn in Jannatul Baqi." Imam Ali builds her a house. A Baytul Huzn was built. Sayyida would spend a lot of time weeping for her father, the way he departed this world, and also weeping over, the words that came out of her mouth, sitting on the grave of Rasulullah, the famous couplet when she says, "Subbat alayya masaibun, law subbat alal ayyam, sirna layaliya." Oh Father, subbat alayya masaibun. So many masaib came upon me that if they had come upon the days, they would have converted into nights. This is a metaphor that when a day converts into night, it is difficult. So many masaib have come upon Sayyida. Yes, she is still intact. Her aqidah is still intact. She has not raised her voice to anyone. She has not made any bad dua towards anyone. And that's the kirdar of Sayyida. Yes, the last few moments of her life, when she sat and she gave these wasaya to Imam Ali. Imam Ali, after hearing all this, he makes his way to Masjid. And Janab Sayyida goes into her hujra and she says to Asma, "Oh Asma, that I am going inside my room. As long as you keep hearing the sound of tahleel and ibadat, know that Sayyida is alive. But the moment you stop hearing it, know that I am no longer alive." And Janab Sayyida's voice stopped coming. Asma understood. Hasanain, come in. When they came in, they said, "Where is our mother?" Asma said, "Oh children, the food is ready. Why don't you eat first?" Imam Hussain said, "Oh Asma, have you ever seen us eat without our mother?" अजरुकुम अल्लाह, खुदा किसी गम में न रुलाए सिवाय गम आले मोहम्मद के. Asma responded, "Oh Hussein, oh Hassan, from now on you'll have to eat without your mother. Your mother is no longer alive." Hassanin went to Masjid and called upon Amirul Mu'mineen. Some riwayat mention that Asma herself went to Masjid and said to Imam Ali that Fatima is no longer alive. Ali rushes back home. He looks at Janab Sayyida. He holds her hand. He said, "Oh Sayyida, I'm talking to you. How come you're not responding?" Ajrukum Allah. So many masaib on this daughter of Rasul. Just imagine if she was not the daughter, how she would have dealt with all of these things. final blow to her is the history, the dark chapter of history is that those in charge, first they denied her fadak, first they denied her the right that she had, and on top of that, they brought fire to her house. The door was brought down. Sayyada was crushed between the door and the wall. Ala lanatullahi ala al-qawm al-zalimin wa sayalamu allazina zalamu ayyamun qalbin yanqalibun inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Oh Allah, please accept our ibadah tonight. Oh Allah, we've committed a lot of sins, please forgive our sins. Oh Allah, give us the tawfiq and ability to follow the commands and the teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam. Oh Allah, hasten the reappearance of our waiting Imam. Make up amongst the soldiers of Imam. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Matame Hussein.
Sayyada Tahira, Sayyada Tahira, Sayyada Tahira, Sayyada Tahira, Sayyada Tahira, Sayyada Tahira, Sayyada Tahira.
بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، بابا بیٹی بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، بابا بیٹی ہائے ہائے بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، جلد ہی آ کے ملوں گی میں ہے تجھ سے بابا، جلد ہی آ کے ملوں گی میں ہے تجھ سے بابا، زخم جان لیوا مجھے ظالم لگانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، جلد ہی آ کے ملوں گی میں ہے تجھ سے بابا، جلد ہی آ کے ملوں گی میں ہے تجھ سے بابا، زخم جان لیوا مجھے ظالم لگانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، بابا بیٹی
ہائے ہائے بابا بیٹے تیری تحریر کو جھٹلا کے سند پھاڑی گئی، تیری تحریر کو جھٹلا کے سند پھاڑی گئی، اب گواہوں کو بھی رستے سے ہٹانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے۔
بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے۔
تیری تحریر کو جھٹلا کے سند پھاڑی گئی، تیری تحریر کو جھٹلا کے سند پھاڑی گئی، اب گواہوں کو بھی رستے سے ہٹانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے۔ کلمہ پڑھ کے تیرے ہاتھوں جو مسلمان ہوئے، کلمہ پڑھ کے تیرے ہاتھوں جو مسلمان ہوئے، بابا وہ لوگ میرے گھر کو گرانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے۔
بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے۔
کلمہ پڑھ کے تیرے ہاتھوں جو مسلمان ہوئے، کلمہ پڑھ کے تیرے ہاتھوں جو مسلمان ہوئے، بابا وہ لوگ میرے گھر کو گرانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے۔ تیرے درباری میرے گھر کو جلانے آئے، بابا بیٹی پہ تیری کیسے زمانے آئے۔
ہر درود اور ہر سلام مادر حسین تیرے نام، ہر درود اور ہر سلام مادر حسین تیرے نام، ہر درود اور ہر سلام مادر حسین تیرے نام، زوجائے علی سر بلند فاطمہ عظیم ارجمن، جس کے آستان پاک کے قدسیان عرش ہیں غلام، ہر درود اور ہر سلام مادر حسین تیرے نام، ہر درود اور ہر سلام مادر حسین سید، اور ہاں وہ سیدہ ہے سیدہ، ہاں وہ فاطمہ ہے فاطمہ، آرزو قلب مصطفیٰ، جن کے لاڈلے حسن حسین، جن کی بیٹیاں فلک مقام، ہر درود اور ہر مادر حسین تیرے نام، ہر درود اور ہر سلام मादरे हुसैन तेरे नाम और सानिए जनाब सैयदा अल्लाह अल्लाह तेरा हौसला खूब की हिफाजत हराम बाद कत्ल सैयद अनाम हर दुरूद और मादरे हुसैन तेरे नाम हर दुरूद और हर सलाम मादरे हुसैन तेरे नाम ओ कट रहा था फर के शाहिदी कट रहा था फर के शाहिदी चल रहा था खंजरे लई बीबी आप देखती रही मिट गए हरम जले ख़याम हर दुरूद और हर मादरे हुसैन तेरे नाम हर दुरूद और हर सलाम मादरे हुसैन तेरे नाम या हुसैन
السلام عليك يا رسول الله يا نبي الله السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين يا علي بن أبي طالب السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى أم المؤمنين السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدتي نساء العالمين السلام عليك يا أبا محمد الحسن بن علي المجتبى السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي هلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين السلام عليك يا أئمة المسلمين يا علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد وحسن بن علي وحجة بن الحسن يا صاحب الزمان السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وجعلنا من أنصارك وأعوانك